Well, hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time watching my channel. My name is Matt Samolsky. I'm Matt the Car Guy, and on this channel I do car reviews. And today I'm super excited because I have this 2021 Toyota Venza. After 5 years of being discontinued, Toyota brought this model back, and I'm super excited to share with you the features on the exterior, interior. Check out the cargo room, see what hides underneath the hood, and finally take it for a spin. But first of all, big shout out to Toyota of Melbourne, Florida, not Melbourne, Australia, for letting me film this vehicle. I'm going to post their link in the description of this video alongside with the sticker of this car with all of the equipment on, so you can check them out. Alright guys, let's check out the front of this vehicle. As most of the hybrids, all of the eco-friendly cars, it's more aerodynamic, it's more stylish, it's more futuristic looking. So if you take a look, first of all, take a look at nicely incorporated, right above this bumper that sticks out and kind of hide in here for better aerodynamics. They're surrounded by this chrome trim that continues across the bottom of this grille. And on this grille, by the way, you see this blue background on the Toyota logo, which means it's a hybrid vehicle, and that's where all of these safety equipment hides underneath this part right here. Also, take a look at the lights. They're full LED lights, and it does have this like kind of double eyebrows, if you will, the light signature on it that nicely light up, especially you can see them at night. So the one thing I'm not sure about it, now the hood is nice, it's fairly, basic, but it's nice, it looks good on this car. The one thing I'm not sure about it is this part right here. The bottom of this grille, I think they could have done a little bit better job as far as putting some better design, maybe a different color, maybe a little bit of chrome or polished aluminum. This one is kind of this dull, dark plastic on it. It does have this chrome trim at the bottom, and then again, we go back to the same plastic at the very bottom. Now it does have room for fog lights. This one doesn't have it. Maybe it's available as an option. Check out on the Toyota website what you can add to this vehicle. So that's the front of it. Let's take a peek underneath the hood. Okay, so what hides underneath the hood is this 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, and like I mentioned before, it has two electrical motors that help power up the front wheels and one that help power up the rear wheels. Nothing too crazy about this engine compartment other than you can see this bright orange wiring. That means it's a high voltage, so don't touch it basically. And another thing that's my pet peeve, and I don't know why they don't do this, but this prop stick, that should be a hydraulic lift. What else is interesting about this engine? It's got a tremendous gas mileage. I mean, this SUV gets 39 miles per gallon combined, 37 in the city, 40 on the expressway, which is awesome. And it is an all-wheel drive, so it's going to help you in the wet conditions and snow conditions. 0 to 60, again, I don't really care too much about it on the SUV. This one is kind of slow, 7.6 seconds, 0 to 60. All right, so let's check out the side profile of this vehicle. Like I said, in the front, it's very stylish, aerodynamic. It's got very nice sculpted front in here. You can see those lights kind of wrap around into the fender in here. Now it sits on the 19-inch wheels, and the tires are 225 by 55, so they do have some rubber on it, but they're not these bulky off-road tires. Now what you see here, it's fairly simple design as far as the side of it. I mean, there's really no crazy lines, no indentations. We've seen that on the Highlander where they have this big curve right here. This one has a little bit similar to it, but not as visible as on the Highlander. And of course this one is the limited model, and it's a hybrid, so you can see that there's got a hybrid badge right on the side. It's got the LED signals built right into the mirrors, but it also is equipped with this keyless entry. Not only keyless entry, but a keyless go. Basically you put your hand in here, it's going to unlock the vehicle, and then if you have a key, as I did right now, you see it locks it without, you know, touching anything. It's just make sure you have a key somewhere on you. The mirrors fall down, then when I put my hand inside of the door handle, the mirrors unfold and the car unlocks. And this is where the very interesting part of this car is, and I can't wait to show you this, so come on. Okay, so while I was excited about the front of this vehicle, it's nice, sleek, stylish, modern, this is super sleek, super stylish, and definitely super modern. So I can see where this could be a love or hate relationship for some of the guys. I particularly like it. Look at those lights, look at those taillights, how far they stick out from the rest of the body, literally about 1.5 inches. The lights are nice and they go all the way across. Now you have this Toyota logo with a blue background, meaning that it is a hybrid vehicle. The rear glass, it's nicely sloped and it's covered right here with this tailgate spoiler with the LED light incorporated in it, so you can almost see, like if you're braking, you can see all the lights light up. It's very nice, it's very visible, kind of like that Lincoln's look a little bit, or maybe the new Lexus look. Venza badge right here, limited and hybrid. On the other side you have a little bit of a chrome piece trim in here, and then you have the reverse lights, as well as you have 2 exhaust tips in the back. Now those are real exhausts. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it still does have 2 exhausts. So let's see how much room there is in the back of this vehicle. Okay, all right, so check this out. Let's check it out. What do we have here? Now it's got quite a bit of room in the back. Now, like most of these type of crossovers, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of height in it, because you can literally just put that much cargo inside. But let's see if we have more room in here. Sure enough, there is a spare tire, but there's also room to put more stuff in here. If you want to hide a purse or a backpack or something like this, you certainly have enough room down here to do that. Now Toyota uses JBL stereo. This is on the limited series, the limited model in here, so very nice. And the seats fold down. Let's see if they fold down flat. And look at this, they do. You can actually either remove it or raise this up, but they do fold fairly flat. They have a little bit of a raise in front, but not too crazy. So this is an SUV. Like I said, this is kind of a crossover. So if you're looking for tons of room, this is probably not going to be your first choice. But if you're just looking for something that's great on gas mileage, good looking, and does have enough room for a Costco run, this might be your car. Right, so if you're buying an SUV like this, you want to ask yourself, does it have enough room, just in case I have some passengers? Maybe you have kids who are teenagers who are like 6 feet tall like me. So let's see if it's got enough room for 2 adults or 3 adults in the back. It is a 2-row SUV, so there's no 3rd row seat, but let's see if it's comfortable for 3 people here. And it does have enough room for definitely for 2, maybe even 3 adults. It does have this little bump in the middle because it is an all-wheel drive car. So let me show you how it looks. All right, so let's check out the interior of this car. And you know, there's nothing crazy about it. It's nice, comfortable leather seats, and this one is dressed with this charcoal leather. And look at this, I really like the design of the front seats. They're fairly comfortable. I've driven it, but I haven't seen them from the back. they look pretty cool. Now, what else do you have here? This is all nicely leather wrapped, so good job, Toyota. This is plastic, normal, right? And this has a little bit of that trim, again, kind of modern, futuristic looking. So let's check out where the magic happens. Okay, so first we're gonna check out and see how this door closes and how it sounds, and it sounds fairly solid, typical for Toyota. Very nice quality as far as the build of this car. And take a look at the side of it. I mean, it does have a lot of leather wrapped. It does have the same trim as in the back, but it also has another piece of trim. And look at the attention to details. I really like that contrast stitching on this leather, and I really like that trim right here. This is actual thread, probably. No, it is a piece of trim, but it's nice. Memory seats. You have the mirror controls. You can fold down, fold out, and fold in your mirrors. You have your controls for the locks as well as your windows. And let's check out the interior of it. Before we jump in, let's take a look at here. Let's see, it's got Venza right on the door sill in here, so you can see it, Venza on the floor mat. And again, this nicely designed, nicely contrasted, nicely stitched up. See, look at the details of it. I really like that part of it, and I know they're comfy. So let's go inside. All right, guys, so the interior on this 2021 Venza, look at this. I mean, this looks like an airplane cockpit almost. Look at all of these buttons. Look where the start and stop power button is. It doesn't have start stop, it actually says power, kind of like on the Priuses it did. So very nicely designed in my opinion. But let's take it one by one. Let's start with the left of the steering wheel, and let's see what all these buttons are. So this is a limited model, so it does have automatic lights. You can turn off your traction control. You can turn on your view, which is the 360, and look at this, what happens when I turn it on. It shows me the car, and it shows me where I'm parked. Of course, great parking mat right in the middle of 2 parking spaces. Well, they have plenty of room in here. Okay, let's go back in here. Okay, so you have your heated steering wheel and your power liftgate. So that's on the left side of the steering wheel. Steering wheel itself, big Toyota logo, nicely wrapped, soft leather steering. So again, quality wise, A1. Okay, 100%. I love it. So when you look at the steering wheel, there's a lot of buttons on the steering wheel. It literally looks like a jet fighter jet cockpit in here. I like it. I mean, it's very futuristic. Look at this. Now these all control the different pages and the different settings. So when you look at the menu here, so the menu is basically alongside here. You can see those little icons and see what it is. This is your electric mode, right? Trip and total, basically. This is your driving support. Okay, kind of like dry lane keep assist. This is your audio. You have the energy monitor. If you turn that on while driving, it will tell you of how much power is coming from the engine, how much power is coming from the gasoline engine. So these are all the different safety features. All of them are on. Okay, so you can see the parking sensors, blind spot assist. You can have this collision braking, automatic braking if you're getting too close to the other vehicle. And okay, this system right here, RCTA, so this is rear cross traffic alert. It's off or on. And then at the bottom here, it would be any messages, if there's any messages from the vehicle, and that's it. So that's what you can control through the buttons on the steering wheel. Now this one is set up a little bit different because it doesn't have the tachometer on the left hand side. It actually has the charge, eco, and power. So that tells you whether you are in the eco mode on the electric motors, whether it's charging, whether it's off, and right now if it's power. Or at the bottom here, you also have the coolant temperature. Now on the right hand side you have a regular speedometer, and it's both highlighted in miles, but then you have kilometers underneath it too, and this is fuel gauge right underneath here. So this is the instrument cluster on here. Let's check this out. Let's check out the main infotainment. So first of all, this is a 12.3 inch screen, so just as big as we've seen on the Mercedes-Benz MBUX. Let's see what is hiding in here. So first of all, I mean, when it starts off, it's 3 sections. You have climate, home, and navigation. So climate control, okay, pretty much self-explanatory. You have the heated and ventilated seats on this one, very nice feature. Okay, so you can turn the fan on or off. You can turn the temperature on and off, so climate control right in the middle. Home, if you had an audio, if we had the radio on, let's turn that on really quick. Let's see if we have any sources, and let's get the volume up. Okay, so it does have a nice clean sound. I don't want to play it too much because we'll get hit for copyright, but okay, so when you hit the radio, the other 2 disappear. Let's see if we can make it the entire screen, and we cannot, but I can open up the navigation here, right, or move the climate to the other side. That's interesting. So you can basically customize it, and you can change the source of the media. So obviously AM, FM, this one has a Sirius, and then you can Bluetooth as well as auxiliary or USB, and sound, you can adjust your sound settings here. What I'm interested in, let's go back to the menu and let's see what setup is, because general Bluetooth, audio, phone, voice, navigation, vehicle. Let's see vehicle settings, vehicle customization, door lock settings, climate settings, auto AC mode is on. Okay, let's go back in here. Convenience services are on, light settings. So a lot of settings that you can actually go through as far as the vehicle. So nice job, Toyota, for doing this. Valet mode, 4-digit code to lock. This is interesting. So it would most likely lock like the glove box. You have the Wi-Fi settings, of course, traffic. It looks like pretty easy to maneuver around. Map, we can make that map navigation. Now the map kind of looks like still that navigation that Toyota had a while ago. Not that it's bad, because I'm a big believer that if it's not broken, don't fix it. Just think that they could have done a little bit better quality as far as that. But you know, as long as it's gonna get you where you need to go and it's gonna give you the right direction, that's all that matters, right? Now we can turn the power off, power on for the radio, and this is the infotainment center. What do we have here? Now this is that piano black trim, which again, better get your microfiber cloth because you're going to be cleaning that a lot. And this is your shortcut buttons for that infotainment: power, home, menu, audio, and map. This is your climate control settings. I wonder if you can make this the entire screen. Maybe, maybe not. Again, at the bottom here, you have the power button, and you have a couple of the USB charging ports as well as the auxiliary outlet. Nice trim on the side here. Attention to detail is amazing. I actually like that a lot. And in here you have EV mode. So hybrid battery is low, but if the battery is charged, you can actually put it in the EV mode and drive only on the battery for a certain amount of miles. I'll put that in the comment below. As far as driving modes, you have Sport, Normal, and Eco, and then you have your parking, electronic parking brake, and then you have your hold button, and it's unavailable right now because driver's seat belt is unbuckled. Unbelievable. What else they want? Cup holders. By the way, this is nice. This is leather wrapped, or actually it's not leather wrapped. It's plastic, but it looks like leather. It's soft plastic too. Nice to touch. Cup holders. Then at the bottom here you have your heated ventilated seats, and then in here you have another storage compartment and another cup holders if you would like to put something small in here. And it actually says it's not a cup holder. Don't know what that is then. All right, and one of my favorite features on all of the cars, and I think all of them should have it, is check this out. Okay, now it has the regular mirror, which if you turn that, and you can see that there is very limited view and what you can see in the back. But if you flip that to this electronic mirror, it's unbelievable. You can leave it on. You don't have to turn it on or off. You can leave it on. And matter of fact, when I'm going to be testing this vehicle, I'm going to just leave it on because I'd rather have this than regular mirror, which is obstructed. And we have the light door, which means that if the door is open, the lights will go on or off. You can turn all of them on or individual lights. This is for your sunroof. Now, by the way, it does have this big panoramic sunroof, and it does have, it's a dual sunroof. It's kind of not one piece, but it's a dual sunroof. Oh wow, look at this. Can you see the difference? Now it's all transparent, right? I can see everything, you know, the tree, and now I don't. So this is interesting. This is a very cool feature because sometimes you just don't want to have all of this light coming in. Turn that on. I like it. All right guys, I'm ready to take this car for a spin, but before we do that, let's talk just a little bit about the pricing, because you know, Toyota is available in several different versions. It is available in the LE version, XLE, and the Limited, and this one is the top of the line Limited. Like I said, all of them are all-wheel drive cars, so you don't have to worry about choosing the front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And the pricing, you can check out Toyota website, but I'll tell you what they're starting at. So the LE starts at $32,470, XLE at $36,000, Limited at $39,800, and this one, as we sit in here, it's just about $44,000. So it does have some extra added features, and I'm going to list those out at the link in the description of this video. So before we take it for a spin, I'm going to do a quick 360 turn around and see how tight the turning radius is. Then we're also going to check out the rear view camera, and we're going to take it for a spin. But one thing that I read about this car, and that a lot of people were complaining that it's not quick enough, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for, you know, a super great performance, but rather for comfort. See how comfortable it is, see how tight it is as far as turning, see what the steering response and the brake response is, and I'll give you my final thoughts on it in just a little bit. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna do a 360 and see how many parking spaces it takes to turn this thing around. So again, we have turned the steering wheel all the way, and now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it turns 4 is just touching 4. So basically, if you look at the smaller SUV, this one to be, that's very much in line with what the rest of them are. And let's take a look and see of how the rear camera works on this car. So we'll put it in gear and let's check it out. By the way, I love that rear view camera, the top one. I think it's amazing. Now the lines are turning, so you have the guides, nice rear view camera. You also have your top 360 view, which is very helpful, and I'm glad Toyota does it. A lot of other manufacturers don't do it. And then you can have a wide mode and then the narrower mode, whichever one you prefer. And again, if you look at this, I had a complaint for some other manufacturers that they kind of go around and you can see the housing, camera housing, or the license plate bracket, you know, in here. This one doesn't have it. It's nice and clean. Let's take a look of how clean and not grainy it is. Now it's a little bit grainy. It's not the super high quality, but it's enough. You can see where you're turning. So let's take this for a quick spin. And the battery is low, but normally I'd be able to put it in the EV mode, which is electric vehicle mode, but until the battery charges I won't be able to do that. It says EV mode not available, battery low. So this car has been sitting and it's been idling probably. It's been on for a little bit. By the way, when I returned to the vehicle after doing the walk around of it, I saw that it says, hey, the vehicle will be on for 1 hour. After 1 hour it will turn off, and then it asked me if I want to keep it on at all times. So I'm gonna say no to that. But the first impression, because it's really, you know, my first drive of this vehicle, so the first impression of this car, the quality, I absolutely love it. I think it's definitely Lexus-like. There was a gap between Toyota and Lexus in the past. I think this one is more Lexus than Toyota. The engine is not loud, but we'll see if it makes a lot of noise while accelerating and how quick it is. So let's go. Okay, so it does make some noise, not overwhelming, not overpowering. It could be a little bit quicker, but again, this is not what a lot of those cars are. I mean, you're not getting them for power and performance. This, you're getting to get SUV with 40 miles per gallon fuel efficiency. I mean, where else can you get that? Now you have some electric vehicles that are coming out, and I think the whole industry is leaning this way, which is exciting because, you know, a lot of those SUVs are powered by this huge engines, gas guzzlers, right? And you know, right now the gas is cheap, and a lot of people might say, hey, you know what, I really don't care about the gas mileage, but you got to look at the planet, you know. And I gotta tell you, I'm not like the most eco person, okay? I mean, I love our planet. I wish we'll leave it better for our kids than it is, and it's definitely going in that direction. But I start digging this electric vehicle stuff. I think this is the way of the future, and we're not going to have to worry about the gasoline anymore. Well, so we tried the acceleration, we tried the turning radius, we backup camera, and it's all good. Okay, I would give it, you know, probably 4 out of 5 stars if I were to rate it on the 5-star scale. As far as the design, it's a love or hate. I like it. I get it. Some people might not be too crazy about it. The front grille, that's where I think that they should work a little bit more on these cars, and it should be a little bit nicer. Also, if I were to get it, I'd probably opt in for the optional fog lights if I had a chance. Roominess. Now these cars, I don't know if you remember the Acura ZDX and the old Toyota Venza and the old Honda Accord Crosstour or Crosstour before that. I mean, those were all kind of sloped in the back, so there's not a ton of room in the back behind the second row seat but it is definitely enough to put your stuff in. Roominess in the back seat, it's good. There's no complaints, no questions about it. And you know, as far as the interior and the electronics in it, I think it came from like that 2 years ago in Toyotas, which was fairly simple. Maybe only the Priuses had kind of the updated technology. Now they're going into all of the mainstream cars, and I like it. I like that technology that they have in it. Again, if I were to pick something and complain, the navigation could be maybe a little bit better, and as far as the quality of it, and then the rear view camera. I mean, if they just up the resolution of it, be perfect. You know, that's it. That's the whole Venza 2021. Very nicely done. I'll give it a thumbs up. And you know, I invite you to check out some of my other videos. If you like watching stuff like this, consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video.